In the misty landscapes of Ireland, where ancient forests whisper tales of old and emerald hills cradle the weight of centuries, there lies a treasure trove of legends that have captured hearts for generations. This is not just a land of rolling greens and ancient stone circles, it's a place where myths breathe life into the very air, where the unseen and the mysterious have danced on the edges of reality for as long as people can remember. Irish mythology is like a vast, intricate tapestry, woven with threads of vibrant stories, enchanted beings, and timeless legends. Its most celebrated figures, heroes like Cú Chulainn, fairies like the city, and gods like Luff, have captivated imaginations with their bravery, beauty, and power. But beyond these well-known names lies a world that often remains in the shadows, populated by creatures that seldom make headlines, but whose stories are no less enchanting. Imagine a world where each mist-covered glen and every moonlit grove hides a creature with its own story, each more mesmerizing than the last. These lesser-known beings, often forgotten or overlooked, carry whispers of a world that's both wondrous and wild. They are the haunting echoes of a time when magic was an everyday reality, and their tales resonate with the raw emotion of human experience. Take, for instance, the Slough, an eerie gathering of restless spirits who roam the night in search of souls to claim. Their chilling presence is a reminder of the delicate balance between the living and the dead, a spectral reminder of the fear and fascination that has long gripped human hearts. These spirits are not just spectral figures but embodiments of the anxieties and hopes of a bygone era, painting a vivid picture of what it means to live in a world where the boundaries between life and death are fluid. Or consider the Leonine City, a beguiling fairy whose beauty can both enchant and ensnare. This creature's connection to artists and poets, promising inspiration in exchange for their love and, sometimes, their very lives, speaks to the profound impact of creativity and the sacrifices that often accompany it. Her stories are steeped in both allure and sorrow, reflecting the often painful relationship between genius and madness. Then there's the enigmatic Banshee, whose wail foretells death but also serves as a spectral messenger, bridging the gap between the world of the living and the realm of the deceased. Her cries are a poignant reminder of the inevitable sorrow that accompanies life and death, embodying the deep-seated fears and mourning of those who have come before. The tales of these creatures are not mere stories, but echoes of a culture that once saw magic in every shadow and heard voices in every breeze. They are reflections of a world where the supernatural was woven into the very fabric of daily life, where the presence of these beings was as real and immediate as the trees and rivers that surrounded them. These lesser-known creatures, with their haunting beauty and mysterious powers, offer a glimpse into a world that is both mesmerizing and melancholy. Their stories are not just about the creatures themselves, but about the emotions and experiences they represent. They remind us of the deep connection between humanity and the mysteries that lie just beyond the edge of the known world, capturing the essence of a time when every rustle in the woods or flicker of a shadow held the promise of something wondrous or terrible. In celebrating these lesser-known beings, we honor the rich tapestry of Irish mythology in all its complexity. We connect with the ancient stories that have shaped the cultural landscape and understand the profound impact these myths continue to have on our imagination and spirit. Each creature, with its own unique tale, is a testament to the enduring power of storytelling and the timeless allure of the unknown. In the dead of night, when the moon casts eerie shadows over the land and the wind carries whispers through the trees, there is a haunting presence that sends shivers down the spine. This is the Slough, a gathering of restless spirits that drift through the darkness, searching for the souls of the living. Their very name, derived from the Old Irish word for host or army, hints at their formidable and unsettling nature. The Slough are not just any ghosts, they are the souls of those who have died in a manner that leaves them unfulfilled or unsettled. Whether they have met untimely ends or were not given proper rites, these spirits remain trapped between the worlds, driven by an insatiable hunger to claim new souls. This dark army is said to sweep through the land like a storm, their presence heralded by a chilling, almost mechanical clatter of spectral sounds. When night falls, the Slough is believed to come out in droves, their ghostly figures drifting silently through the air. They are often described as a mass of shadowy forms, their faces obscured and their movements erratic, driven by an endless quest for souls to replace their own. The stories say that they are drawn to places of sorrow and despair, where the veil between life and death is thinnest. This makes graveyards, battlefields, and lonely, desolate spots their preferred haunts. One of the most terrifying aspects of the slough is their ability to slip into homes and places of refuge. According to folklore, they can only be kept at bay by certain rituals or by ensuring that doors and windows are securely fastened. A common belief was that if someone heard the distant sound of a cacophonous, ghostly clamor in the middle of the night, it was a sign that the slough was near. It was said that if the noise grew closer, one should immediately take measures to ward off these spirits, such as placing iron objects or salt near entrances to create a barrier. There are countless tales of encounters with the slough that have chilled the bones of those who lived through them. One story speaks of a family who, one night, heard an unnerving noise outside their cottage. As they huddled together in fear, the sound grew louder, and shadowy figures began to press against the windows. The family performed the old rituals, and just as the slough seemed ready to breach the threshold, the noise stopped abruptly, leaving only the echo of their chilling presence behind. In another tale, a young shepherd found himself caught in the path of the slough as he was making his way home late one evening. He saw the spirits in the distance, their figures shifting and swirling as they approached. Terrified, he raced home and barely made it inside before the slough reached his door. The next day, he found that his flock of sheep had been disturbed, with several missing, a grim reminder of how close he had come to becoming one of the lost souls claimed by the restless spirits. The slough are more than just a source of fear, they embody the anxieties and uncertainties of the afterlife. Their stories reflect a deep-seated fear of the unknown and the consequences of a life left incomplete. The notion that spirits can be so restless and vengeful speaks to the importance of proper rites and the respect due to those who have passed on. It also serves as a reminder of the thin boundary that separates the living from the dead and the dangers that lie in crossing that line. As you walk through the quiet nights of the Irish countryside, remember that the legends of the slough are not just tales to entertain. They are part of the rich tapestry of beliefs and fears that have shaped the culture for centuries. These stories, passed down through generations, capture the essence of a time when the supernatural was an ever-present reality, and the slough remains the chilling testament to the enduring power of myth and the profound impact of the unknown. In the quiet hours of twilight, when the sky fades to an otherworldly shade of dusk and the air grows thick with mystery, one might feel an unexplainable chill as if being watched. It is in these moments that the Leonan city, an enchanting yet dangerous fairy, is said to make her presence known. With her otherworldly beauty and irresistible allure, she captivates the hearts of those who encounter her, leaving behind a trail of both inspiration and despair. The Leonan city, often described as a stunningly beautiful woman with an almost ethereal quality, possesses an allure that is impossible to resist. Her eyes are said to hold the secrets of the universe, and her voice is as melodic as a summer breeze. She appears in dreams and in moments of artistic creation, drawing those who encounter her into a web of passion and obsession. Her very presence is a blend of seduction and danger, offering brilliance at a steep price. Artists and poets throughout history have been enchanted by the Leonan city. She is known to seek out those with a burning creative spirit, offering them unparalleled inspiration in exchange for their love and, often, their life force. The Leonan city is said to feed off the vitality and creativity of her lovers, leading to a tragic cycle where the artist's life is consumed by the very brilliance they create. One of the most haunting tales of the Leonan city is that of a gifted poet who fell under her spell. His work, renowned for its beauty and depth, was the result of the Leonan city's influence. His verses were filled with an intensity and passion that seemed to flow from a source beyond the mortal realm. Yet, as his fame grew, so did his dependence on the fairy. He became increasingly withdrawn, his health deteriorating as he poured his soul into his work. In the end, he was found lifeless, his final masterpiece a testament to the high cost of his inspiration. Another tale speaks of a painter who was visited by the Leonan city in the midst of a creative crisis. She appeared to him as a vision of exquisite beauty, her eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. She promised him the artistic breakthrough he so desperately sought. The painter, enthralled by her, became obsessed with her image, creating a series of masterpieces that were hailed as revolutionary. However, his obsession with capturing her beauty on canvas drove him to madness. He spent his last days in a state of delirium, unable to separate reality from the fantastical visions the Leonan city had implanted in his mind. The influence of the Leonan city extends beyond just the tragic stories of those she has claimed. She symbolizes the dual nature of artistic inspiration, the brilliance that can elevate and transform, but also the consuming passion that can lead to ruin. Her presence is a stark reminder of the fine line between genius and madness, between creation and destruction. Even those who have not fallen under her spell feel her impact. The stories and legends of the Leonan city have shaped the way people view the relationship between creativity and suffering. She embodies the idea that true artistic greatness often comes with a price, a notion that resonates with anyone who has experienced the intense drive to create, whether in art, writing, or any other form of expression. In the quiet moments of solitude, when inspiration strikes and creativity flows like a river, the shadow of the Leonan city looms, a reminder of the delicate balance between brilliance and obsession. Her tales are a chilling yet captivating reflection of the sacrifices made in the pursuit of artistic excellence and the eternal dance between beauty and despair. The Leonan city remains a powerful figure in the tapestry of myth and folklore, her stories continuing to inspire and haunt those who dare to seek the heights of artistic achievement. Her legacy endures in the whispers of poets and artists, a spectral reminder of the price of true inspiration and the eternal allure of the unknown. On a still, moonlit night, when the world seems to hold its breath, an eerie wail might pierce the silence, sending shivers down the spine. This chilling cry belongs to the Banshee, a spectral figure whose mournful lament foretells death. The Banshee is not merely a ghost, but a harbinger of sorrow, whose presence is as unsettling as it is poignant. The Banshee, or Bean City in Irish, which means woman of the fairy mound, is known for her mournful cry that echoes through the night. Her wail is not just a sound but a powerful omen, a signal that death is imminent for someone in the family she is linked to. This cry, described as both haunting and sorrowful, can shake the very soul, leaving a lingering chill long after it fades away. Different regions in Ireland have their own variations of the Banshee, each adding its own unique twist to the legend. In some areas, the Banshee is seen as a beautiful woman with long, flowing hair, often dressed in a white or gray cloak. Her appearance is both haunting and tragic, reflecting the sorrowful nature of her role. In other parts of Ireland, the Banshee is depicted more as a hag or an old crone, her face twisted in anguish as she wails for the soon-to-be departed. In the region of Ulster, the Banshee is often described as a more malevolent spirit, her cries accompanied by the sound of tearing clothes or the rattle of chains. In contrast, in Connacht and other western parts, she is portrayed with a more benign but equally sorrowful presence, her wails a gentle but unavoidable sign of impending doom. Despite these regional differences, the essence of the Banshee remains the same, a sorrowful spirit whose cry is a prelude to loss. The role of the Banshee in Irish folklore is both significant and deeply emotional. Her presence is tied to the ancient belief that the spirit world is intricately linked with the lives of the living. She is often associated with certain families, particularly those of noble or old lineage, who believe that her cry is a personal message of mourning. This connection between the living and the dead creates a powerful emotional impact, transforming the Banshee from a mere ghost into a symbol of familial grief and continuity. One of the most poignant tales of the Banshee is the story of a young woman whose family was visited by the spirit on the eve of her wedding. As the wedding preparations reached their peak, the Banshee's cry filled the night air. The woman's family was devastated when they learned that the cry was a warning of the groom's untimely death. The Banshee's lament was a heartbreaking reminder of the fragility of life and the deep connections that bind families together. Another tale speaks of an elderly man who heard the Banshee's wail late at night. Recognizing the sound, he prepared himself for the inevitable loss, knowing it would come to someone close to him. His own grief was profound, but what made the experience even more harrowing was the knowledge that the Banshee's cry was not just a warning but an echo of the collective sorrow shared by his entire community. These stories highlight the emotional weight carried by the Banshee. Her cry is not just an announcement of death, but a reflection of the deep sorrow and loss experienced by those who hear it. Her role in folklore emphasizes the interconnectedness of life and death, showing that even in moments of grief, there is a profound sense of continuity and shared experience. The Banshee's influence extends beyond mere tales of woe. She represents the universal human experience of mourning and the ways in which we cope with the knowledge of our own mortality. Her presence in folklore serves as a powerful reminder of the emotional bonds that tie us to our loved ones and the inevitable nature of loss that is a part of life. As her mournful wail drifts through the night, the Banshee remains a haunting symbol of both the sorrow of farewell and the enduring connection between the living and the dead. Her cries echo through the annals of Irish folklore, capturing the essence of a time when the supernatural was an integral part of understanding life's deepest emotions. In the dense, shadowy depths of Mexico's ancient forests, where the light barely pierces through the thick canopy, dwell beings whose presence is felt but seldom seen, the Chineks. These mysterious forest spirits are as elusive as they are enchanting, and their stories have whispered through the trees for generations, carrying a blend of wonder and caution. The Chineks are small, sprite-like creatures, their forms reminiscent of the forest's very essence. They are often described as tiny beings with a mischievous glint in their eyes, dressed in garments made from leaves, moss, and bark. Their skin is said to be as green as the forest floor, blending seamlessly into their surroundings. Their small size allows them to move stealthily through the undergrowth, their presence marked only by the faint rustling of leaves or the occasional gleam of their bright eyes. These spirits are said to inhabit the most untouched parts of the forest, areas where nature reigns supreme and human intrusion is minimal. Their homes are hidden in the roots of ancient trees, beneath rocks, or in the crevices of moss-covered stones. They guard their territory fiercely, and their connection to the forest is both sacred and protective. To wander into their domain uninvited is to risk their trickery or their wrath. Chineks are known for their playful but often troublesome behavior. They delight in leading travelers astray, making paths seem longer or more treacherous than they really are. It is said that they can create illusions to confuse or disorient those who enter their realm. Lost in the forest, one might hear laughter carried on the wind or see fleeting shadows darting between the trees, a clear sign that the Chineks are at play. One chilling tale recounts the experience of a hunter who ventured into the forest, eager to prove his skill and bravery. As he walked deeper into the woods, he began to feel an uneasy presence, as though he were being watched. The deeper he went, the more disoriented he became. The forest that had once seemed familiar now twisted into a labyrinth of unfamiliar sights and sounds. Hours later, exhausted and frightened, he stumbled upon a small clearing where he saw a group of tiny figures dancing around a fire. The sight was both mesmerizing and terrifying. As he tried to approach, the figures vanished, and he found himself completely lost. It was only through sheer luck that he managed to find his way back home, forever haunted by the encounter with the Chineks. Another story tells of a group of children who played near the edge of the forest. Enticed by the promise of hidden treasures and magical creatures, they ventured further into the woods. They soon realized they were being followed by soft giggles and fleeting shadows. When they turned to confront whatever was behind them, they found nothing but the forest's dense undergrowth. The children returned home with their heads full of fantastical tales, but many reported strange occurrences in their dreams and a lingering sense of unease whenever they ventured near the forest again. Legends speak of the Chineks as guardians of the forest, maintaining a balance between nature and humanity. They are deeply connected to the land, and their mischief serves as a reminder of the respect that must be shown to nature. Intruding into their domain without proper respect or offering could provoke their anger. In some traditions, offerings of small trinkets or food are left at the edge of the forest to appease these spirits and ensure safe passage. These tales, filled with both wonder and warning, reflect the deep reverence that people have for the natural world. The Chineks embody the enchantment and mystery of the forest, reminding us of the delicate balance between humans and the wild places we often take for granted. Their presence in folklore is a testament to the ways in which ancient cultures understood and respected the forces of nature that shaped their lives. In the dim glow of moonlight, where shadows stretch long and the chill of night seeps into the bones, there lurks a figure of pure terror, the Dirge Dhu. Known as the Red Woman or Bloodsucker in Irish folklore, this vampiric entity embodies a chilling blend of beauty and horror, leaving an indelible mark on the nightmares of those who hear her tale. The origins of the Dirge Dhu are shrouded in darkness and despair. According to legend, she was once a beautiful woman, a striking figure who captivated the hearts of all who beheld her. Her beauty was unparalleled, her presence enchanting, and she was sought after by many suitors. However, her story took a tragic turn when she was betrayed and wronged by the man she loved. As often happens in these ancient tales, her life met a cruel end, her heart broken by unrequited love and betrayal. Her suffering was so profound that it twisted her into something far more sinister than the woman she once was. The Dirge Dhu's transformation from a heartbroken woman to a malevolent spirit is marked by her haunting characteristics. She is said to rise from her grave each night, her pallid skin turning a ghastly red, a ghastly reminder of the blood she seeks. Her eyes glow with an eerie light, and her beauty, once a blessing, now serves as a dark allure. Dressed in tattered but elegant garments, she roams the night in search of victims, her presence announced by an unsettling chill that precedes her. One of the most harrowing aspects of the Dirge Dhu is her insatiable thirst for blood. Her thirst is not just for sustenance but for revenge. It is said that she preys upon men, luring them with her beauty and then draining their life force as an act of vengeance for her own cruel fate. Victims who fall under her spell are left lifeless and drained, their bodies found in a state of pale, bloodless repose. The stories of the Dirge Dhu are filled with dread and sorrow, capturing the essence of her tragic existence and her relentless quest for retribution. One tale tells of a young man who, enchanted by her beauty, followed her into the night. He was found the next day, lifeless and drained, his expression frozen in a look of pure terror. The townspeople, upon discovering the truth, were left in a state of horror, knowing that the Dirge Dhu had claimed yet another victim. Another story recounts the experience of a family that lived near a forsaken graveyard. They began to notice strange occurrences, mysterious bloodstains appearing around their home, and an unexplainable coldness that seemed to follow them wherever they went. One night, the head of the family saw a woman standing by their graveyard, her appearance both beautiful and ghastly. As he approached her, she turned and vanished into the darkness, leaving behind a trail of dread. The family, terrified and haunted by her presence, eventually fled their home, unable to escape the fear that the Dirge Dhu would return for them. The lore surrounding the Dirge Dhu is a powerful reminder of the themes of betrayal, vengeance, and the dark side of human emotions. Her story is not just one of horror, but also of deep emotional turmoil, reflecting the pain of being wronged and the transformation that suffering can bring. The Dirge Dhu embodies the tragic consequences of broken trust and lost love, her tale resonating with anyone who has experienced profound betrayal or heartache. Her presence in folklore serves as a chilling reminder of the consequences of betrayal and the power of unresolved grief. The Dirge Dhu, with her blend of tragic beauty and vengeful rage, remains a haunting figure in the annals of Irish mythology, her story echoing through the ages as a powerful testament to the darkness that can arise from profound sorrow and betrayal. On stormy nights, when the wind howls and lightning rips through the darkened sky, a chilling sight can sometimes be seen, a headless horseman riding through the rain-soaked roads. This spectral figure, known as the Dullahan, is a harbinger of death, a creature whose appearance and behavior evoke both fear and sorrow. The Dullahan's most striking feature is its headless form. It rides a powerful, black horse, and in place of its missing head, it carries a severed human head under one arm. The head is not just a grim trophy but a ghastly visage of death, its eyes wide and staring, its mouth set in a ghastly grin. The head's eyes seem to follow anyone who glimpses it, and its grin conveys the cold certainty of doom. The Dullahan's body is wrapped in dark, tattered robes, and the horse it rides is equally terrifying, with eyes that burn like embers and a breath that seems to fog the air with cold despair. When the Dullahan rides, it is said that the very sound of its approach can freeze the blood of those who hear it. The clatter of the horse's hooves echoes like thunder, and the creak of the Dullahan's eerie carriage is a sound that brings a sense of foreboding. Unlike other spectral beings that may haunt or linger, the Dullahan does not seek to frighten for sport. Its purpose is far more sinister. The Dullahan is a deathly messenger, announcing the impending end for those whose names it calls out. The legends of the Dullahan are filled with eerie and unsettling tales. One of the most chilling stories speaks of a rural village that was plagued by the Dullahan's visits. Villagers would hear the distant sound of hooves and the rattle of the headless carriage as it approached. Those who saw the Dullahan knew that their fate was sealed. One night, a young woman saw the Dullahan's headless form riding through the village. Her heart raced as she realized that the Dullahan's gaze had turned toward her, and she knew that she was next. Her fear became a reality when, within days, she fell ill and passed away, her family left to mourn her loss and the chilling visit of the Dullahan that foretold it. Another tale recounts the experience of a traveler who, caught in a storm, sought shelter in a small cottage by the roadside. As he rested, he heard the unmistakable sound of hooves and the eerie clatter of the Dullahan's carriage. Terrified, he peeked through a crack in the door and saw the Dullahan pass by, its headless form illuminated by flashes of lightning. The traveler's heart pounded as he watched the headless rider disappear into the night, only to learn later that the Dullahan had been calling out the names of those who would soon meet their end. The traveler, though spared, would never forget the sight of the Dullahan and the grim realization of how close he had come to his own death. Superstitions surrounding the Dullahan are as chilling as the tales themselves. It is said that the Dullahan can only be kept at bay by certain means. One common belief is that if a person encounters the Dullahan, they should not try to hide or run. Instead, they must remain still and avoid making any noise. The Dullahan is also known to be repelled by gold. It is said that placing a piece of gold at the threshold of one's home or carrying it on one's person can ward off the deathly rider. In some regions, people would scatter iron nails on the road to deter the Dullahan from passing through. The Dullahan's presence in folklore is a potent reminder of the inescapable nature of death. Its eerie, headless form and the grim certainty of its visit underscore the inevitability of mortality. The Dullahan embodies the fear of the unknown that accompanies death, and its stories resonate with anyone who has faced the harsh reality of losing a loved one or confronting their own mortality. The legend of the Dullahan captures the essence of fear and sorrow associated with death. Its headless form, the chilling sound of its approach, and the superstitions that arise from its visits create a portrait of a spectral figure whose presence is as haunting as it is sorrowful. Through its stories and legends, the Dullahan remains a powerful symbol of the ever-present specter of death, reminding us of the thin veil that separates the living from the world beyond. On misty evenings, when the veil between the ordinary and the mystical feels thin, a creature known as the puka might make its presence known. This shape-shifting spirit, as elusive as it is enigmatic, roams the countryside of Ireland and Scotland, bringing with it a mix of fear and fascination. The puka is notorious for its ability to transform into a variety of forms. At times, it appears as a sleek, black horse with eyes that glow like embers, other times as a shaggy, wild-eyed goat, or even as a gigantic, menacing hare. Each form is designed to elicit a sense of unease and disorientation, reflecting the puka's nature as a trickster and a harbinger of chaos. When in the form of a horse, the puka is known for its terrifying speed and strength. It can suddenly appear from the shadows and offer its back to an unsuspecting rider. Once mounted, the puka will gallop off into the night at breakneck speeds, taking the rider on a harrowing and unpredictable journey through the darkness. The rider, terrified and helpless, may find themselves thrown from the horse, often miles away from where they started, with no memory of how they arrived there. In its goat form, the puka is equally unsettling. It is described as having a twisted, almost demonic appearance, with eyes that seem to pierce through the darkness. This form is often associated with malevolent pranks and frightening encounters. Farmers and villagers who have crossed paths with a puka in goat form have reported experiencing a sudden chill, hearing unsettling noises in the night, or finding their belongings mysteriously moved or damaged. The puka's hare form, though less fearsome in appearance, is no less disturbing. This giant hare is said to have eyes that shine with an otherworldly light. It appears in fields or at the edges of forests, often leading travelers astray with its eerie, glowing gaze. Those who follow the hare might find themselves hopelessly lost, wandering in circles until dawn, their sense of direction completely disrupted. Local tales about the puka are filled with both dread and dark humor. One story tells of a farmer who, returning home after a night at the pub, encountered a majestic black horse standing by the roadside. Mistaking it for a friendly steed, he climbed onto its back, only to be taken on a wild, terrifying ride through the countryside. The puka galloped through bogs and over hills, the farmer clinging on for dear life. By the time the ride ended, the farmer was found in a neighboring village, exhausted and shaken but alive. Another tale speaks of a village plagued by a puka that took on the form of a goat. The creature would regularly visit the village, causing havoc by knocking over barrels, scattering livestock, and creating general chaos. The villagers, unable to catch or deter the puka, eventually decided to leave out offerings of food and drink, hoping to appease the mischievous spirit. The puka, amused by their efforts, would often leave a trail of messes behind as it continued its nocturnal escapades. In folklore, the puka serves as both a trickster and a symbol of the unpredictable nature of the supernatural. It embodies the fear of the unknown and the unsettling feeling of being at the mercy of forces beyond one's control. The puka's actions, whether leading travelers astray, causing mischief, or instilling fear, highlight the thin boundary between the familiar and the extraordinary. Though the puka is often associated with mischief and malevolence, some stories suggest a more benign nature. In these tales, the puka is portrayed as a mischievous but ultimately harmless creature, whose pranks are more about causing a bit of trouble than instilling real fear. These stories often emphasize the importance of respecting and acknowledging the spirit world, even if its inhabitants are unpredictable and enigmatic. The puka's role in folklore underscores the enduring belief in and fascination with the supernatural. Its ability to change forms and its penchant for both fearsome and playful behavior make it a compelling figure in local legends. The tales of the puka, with their mix of dread and dark humor, reflect the ways in which communities have understood and interpreted the mysteries that lie just beyond the edge of the everyday world. In the heart of ancient Celtic lands, where the wind howls through rugged mountains and snow blankets the earth, there dwells a figure both awe-inspiring and fearsome, the Cú. This powerful spirit, known as the Old Woman or Hag, wields dominion over the natural world with a blend of fierce authority and ancient wisdom. The Cú is a mythological figure of immense importance, embodying the very essence of winter and the forces of nature. Her appearance is as formidable as her role. She is often depicted as an old woman with a weathered face, her long hair tangled in gray, and her clothing heavy and worn. Her presence alone evokes a sense of the harshness and beauty of the natural world. In some tales, she carries a staff made of wood or stone, which she uses to shape the land and command the weather. As the embodiment of winter, the Cú's influence is felt in every snowstorm and frost-covered field. She is said to be the mistress of ice and snow, her moods reflected in the changing seasons. When she is angry, the weather turns frigid and harsh, with biting winds and relentless snow. Her fury can blanket entire landscapes in white, making the world look like a frozen wasteland. When she is pleased, however, her touch can be gentle, bringing the first soft snowfall that coats the ground in a delicate layer of white. One of the most vivid stories of the Cú tells of her role in shaping the landscape. According to legend, she created mountains and valleys with her powerful staff. In one tale, she is said to have hurled large stones across the land, creating hills and rock formations. Each stone and boulder scattered by her hand is a testament to her immense power and the mark she leaves on the world. Her influence over the landscape is both majestic and terrifying, a reminder of the raw forces that shape our environment. The Cú's role extends beyond mere weather control. She is also a figure of transformation and renewal. As the seasons change, so does the Cú's mood and influence. In autumn, she prepares the land for winter, sweeping away the last remnants of warmth and life. In winter, her presence is most strongly felt, as she covers the world in snow and ice. With the arrival of spring, her power wanes, and she begins to retreat, making way for the new growth and warmth that heralds the end of her reign. Local tales often highlight her dual nature, both nurturing and destructive. In some stories, she is seen as a guardian of the land, ensuring that it remains fertile and ready for the new growth that spring brings. In others, she is portrayed as a fearsome figure whose wrath can lead to harsh winters and devastating storms. Her role in these tales reflects the deep respect and fear that ancient peoples had for the forces of nature and the ways in which these forces could shape their lives. One poignant story tells of a village suffering through an exceptionally harsh winter. The villagers, desperate for relief, turned to the Cailleach, hoping to appease her and bring an end to the relentless cold. They made offerings of food and drink at the edge of the forest, hoping that their gesture would win her favor. As the story goes, the Cailleach, moved by their sincerity, eased her grip on the land, allowing the snow to melt and the first signs of spring to emerge. The villagers, grateful for the reprieve, celebrated the return of warmth and life, forever honoring the Cailleach for her role in shaping their world. In another tale, a young woman ventured into the mountains, seeking the wisdom of the Cailleach. She found the old woman in a cave, surrounded by ancient symbols and relics. The Cailleach, though fearsome in appearance, imparted her wisdom about the cycles of nature and the importance of respecting the land. The young woman, transformed by the experience, returned to her village with a newfound understanding of the natural world and a deep reverence for the forces that govern it. The Cailleach's influence on landscape and weather is a testament to her profound connection with the natural world. She embodies the raw power of nature and the delicate balance between creation and destruction. Her stories, filled with both fear and respect, capture the essence of the ancient Celtic understanding of the world, a place where natural forces are both revered and feared, and where the land itself is a living testament to the power of the gods and spirits that shape it. On the rugged shores of the Scottish Highlands and the coastlines of Ireland, there's a tale that stirs the heart and chills the soul, the legend of the Selkie. This enchanting creature, capable of shifting between the form of a sleek, graceful seal and a captivating human, weaves a story of love, loss, and the yearning for freedom. The Selkies' transformation is both magical and poignant. By day, they glide through the ocean's waves as seals, their sleek bodies moving effortlessly through the water. Their seal skins are their true form, and within them lies their power and connection to the sea. But beneath the surface of this tranquil existence lies a deep, unspoken longing. When the Selkies come ashore, they shed their sealskins to reveal their human forms, beautiful men and women, whose eyes still hold the haunting depths of the sea. Their human forms are often described as alluring and graceful, marked by an otherworldly charm that captivates those who encounter them. One of the most touching stories of the Selkie tells of a fisherman who discovered a Selkie woman on a deserted beach. Her sealskin lay beside her, glistening in the sun, while she danced joyfully in the sand. The fisherman, mesmerized by her beauty, took the skin and hid it. When the Selkie returned to the sea, she found herself trapped in human form, unable to return to her watery home. Moved by her plight, the fisherman offered her comfort and companionship, and in time, they fell in love and married. They lived together for many happy years, but the Selkie's heart remained tied to the sea. One day, while her husband was away, their children discovered the hidden sealskin. The Selkie, seeing it, could not resist the pull of the sea any longer. She donned her sealskin and returned to the ocean, leaving behind her human family and the life she had built on land. The symbolism of the Selkie's story is rich with themes of freedom and the conflict between the human world and the natural world. The Selkie represents a powerful connection to the sea, a reminder of the wild, untamed beauty that lies just beyond the horizon. Their longing to return to the ocean reflects a deep-seated need for freedom and the sense of being true to oneself. The story also speaks to the bittersweet nature of love and sacrifice, highlighting the tension between personal desires and the bonds that hold us to one another. Another poignant tale tells of a Selkie man who fell in love with a human woman. They lived together happily, but the Selkie's heart was always torn between his life on land and his true home in the sea. When their children grew up, the Selkie revealed his true identity to them, explaining the lure of the ocean and his longing for his seal kin. As the years passed, the Selkie grew older, and one day, he walked to the shore, where he transformed back into his seal form. He swam away, leaving behind his human family, who were heartbroken but understood the deep pull of the sea that he could never ignore. These stories capture the essence of the Selkies' dual existence, caught between two worlds, forever longing for what they have left behind. They embody the struggle of living between duty and desire, love and freedom. The Selkies' stories are not just about magical transformations, but about the real, human experiences of love, loss, and the pursuit of happiness. The Selkie legend also carries a deeper message about the respect for nature and the acknowledgement of its power. It's a reminder of the delicate balance between the human world and the natural world, and the consequences of trying to force one's desires upon the other. The Selkies, with their ability to transform and their deep connection to the sea, represent the natural world's mystique and majesty, and the sometimes tragic consequences of human intervention in that world. In folklore, the Selkies' ability to transform from seal to human and back again makes them symbols of the boundaries between different realms of existence, between freedom and constraint, the wild and the domestic. Their stories resonate with anyone who has felt torn between competing desires or who has struggled to reconcile different aspects of their identity. The legend of the Selkie, with its hauntingly beautiful tales of transformation and longing, captures the imagination and tugs at the heart. It speaks to the universal human experiences of love, loss, and the search for one's true self, framed within the enchanting and mystical world of the Selkie. In the dark corners of the Scottish Highlands, where the forests grow thick and the nights are long, there lurks a creature that's as elusive as it is eerie, the Grogach. This small, mysterious being, known for its wild appearance and mischievous behavior, has woven itself into the fabric of local folklore, leaving behind a trail of unsettling encounters and chilling tales. The Grogach is often described as a tiny, hairy creature with a rugged, unkempt appearance. Standing no taller than a child, it has a face that's a peculiar blend of human and animal traits, with pointed ears, a long, crooked nose, and eyes that gleam with a hint of mischief. Its body is covered in coarse, shaggy hair, which often gives it a scruffy, disheveled look. The Grogach's hands and feet are small but dexterous, perfect for carrying out its playful and sometimes troubling pranks. In the depths of the forest or hidden away in the shadowy corners of a mountain cottage, the Grogach's behavior is both unpredictable and unsettling. It is known for its trickster nature, often engaging in acts of mischief that range from harmless pranks to more malevolent deeds. One of its favorite tricks is to sneak into cottages and disrupt the household. It might upend pots and pans, scatter food, or hide essential items, leaving the inhabitants in a state of confusion and frustration. The Grogach takes a perverse pleasure in watching the chaos unfold, delighting in the confusion it creates. Yet, the Grogach's behavior isn't purely malicious. There are tales of this creature showing a peculiar kindness, especially towards those who live close to nature. In some stories, the Grogach is known to help farmers with their chores, such as milking cows or harvesting crops, but only if the farmer has shown respect for the land and its creatures. This dual nature, both helpful and harmful, makes the Grogach a figure of mystery and unpredictability. One haunting tale tells of a Grogach who took a particular interest in a lonely widow living on the edge of a forest. At first, the widow was terrified by the strange noises and disturbances in her home. Pots would be found overturned, and her animals would be unsettled. But as time went on, she noticed that the Grogach seemed to be less inclined towards mischief and more inclined towards assisting her. The creature would help her with household chores and even leave small gifts, such as fresh berries or herbs. The widow, initially frightened, grew to accept the Grogach's presence, finding a strange comfort in its company. Yet, one winter, when she failed to make offerings of food, the Grogach vanished, leaving behind a final, unsettling message, a series of footprints leading away from her home and disappearing into the snow. Another tale speaks of a young shepherd who, while tending his flock, encountered a Grogach in the hills. The shepherd had heard of the creature's reputation and was wary. To his surprise, the Grogach seemed more curious than menacing, watching him with keen eyes and occasionally helping to round up stray sheep. Despite this strange companionship, the shepherd never let his guard down. One evening, he followed the Grogak to a hidden cave where he discovered an old treasure chest filled with ancient coins and artifacts. Though the Grogak never explicitly asked for anything in return, the shepherd felt a deep sense of unease, as though the treasure came with an unspoken price. Over time, the shepherd came to understand that the Grogaka's help was both a gift and a warning, a reminder of the balance between kindness and caution. The Grogaka's role in local tales reflects the complex relationship between humans and the supernatural. It embodies the unpredictable nature of the forest and the wild places, where kindness and mischief often go hand in hand. Its presence is a reminder of the fine line between respect for the unknown and the need for vigilance. The tales of the Grogak are a testament to the deep-seated belief in the unseen forces that shape our world and the respect and wariness they command. In every story, the Grogak leaves behind a sense of both wonder and unease. Its actions, though sometimes baffling, always carry a message, a reminder of the delicate balance between the natural and supernatural worlds. Whether helping or hindering, the Grogaka's presence in folklore is a powerful reflection of the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding, urging us to tread carefully and respect the unseen forces that inhabit the dark, shadowy corners of our world. In the darkest corners of Irish folklore, where shadows whisper and the night feels alive with ancient magic, there lurks a creature of terrifying power, the Ceorthanach. This malevolent spirit, often called the fire-breathing dragon or burning breath, stands as a symbol of the uncontrollable forces of nature and the terror they can unleash. The origins of the Ceorthanach are shrouded in myth and mystery. According to legend, this beast was born from the chaos of the primordial world, a creature forged from fire and darkness. Its very name conjures images of infernos and destruction, reflecting its role as a bringer of catastrophic flames. Descriptions of the Ceorthanach vary, but it is consistently portrayed as a dragon-like being with scales that shimmer like molten lava and eyes that burn with an unholy fire. Its breath, a torrent of blazing heat, has the power to incinerate everything in its path, leaving only ashes behind. The Ceorthanach's mythological role is deeply entwined with the themes of destruction and renewal. In many tales, it is said to emerge from its lair, often a volcanic or fiery chasm, to wreak havoc upon the land. Its fiery breath sweeps across fields and villages, scorching the earth and consuming all that stands in its way. The Ceorthanach is not merely a force of destruction, but also a symbol of the raw, untamed power of nature. It represents the destructive force that lies beneath the surface of the world, a reminder of the uncontrollable elements that can reshape the land and human lives alike. One chilling tale tells of a village nestled at the base of a volcano, a place known for its lush fields and bountiful harvests. The villagers lived in harmony with the land, respecting its power and bounty. One fateful night, the Ceorthanach awoke from its slumber in the depths of the volcano. Fueled by a sudden surge of rage, it spewed flames that erupted across the landscape. The once fertile fields turned to ashes, and the villagers, caught off guard, struggled to save their homes. The fire raged uncontrollably, consuming everything in its path. The villagers could only watch in horror as their world turned to cinders. In the aftermath, as the fires died down, the land lay barren and scorched, a stark reminder of the Ceorthanach's devastating power. Another haunting story speaks of a young shepherd who, while tending his flock, spotted the Ceorthanach emerging from a cave high in the mountains. With its scales glowing ominously and smoke billowing from its nostrils, the beast was a sight of pure terror. The shepherd, paralyzed with fear, watched as the Ceorthanach unleashed its fiery breath upon the mountainside. The flames carved a path of destruction through the forest, turning trees into charred skeletons. Despite the shepherd's desperate efforts to flee, he was left with singed hair and the lingering memory of the Ceorthanach's wrath. In local folklore, the Ceorthanach's influence extends beyond mere destruction. It serves as a powerful symbol of the need for respect and caution towards nature. Its fiery breath, a manifestation of uncontrolled rage, reflects the consequences of ignoring the balance of the natural world. Stories of the Ceorthanach often come with warnings and lessons about living in harmony with the environment and acknowledging the forces that lie beyond human control. The presence of the Ceorthanach in folklore also underscores the ancient belief in supernatural forces that shape the world. It represents the fear and reverence for the unknown, the awe-inspiring power of natural phenomena that can both create and destroy. The tales of the Cú are not just about a dragon-like creature, they are about the profound and often frightening impact of nature's raw power on human lives. In each story, the Cú leaves behind a legacy of both fear and respect. Its fiery wrath serves as a reminder of the delicate balance between human life and the natural world, highlighting the need to understand and respect the forces that govern our environment. The Cú, with its terrifying breath and devastating power, stands as a potent symbol of nature's uncontrollable elements, urging us to remember the awe-inspiring, sometimes terrifying, forces that shape our world. In the heart of Ireland's ancient landscapes, where history and myth entwine like the roots of ancient oaks, there lives a forgotten people, the Fir Bolg. These shadowy figures from the depths of Irish myth are not just characters from old tales, but symbols of a lost era, holding within them the essence of a bygone age. The Fir Bolg are often depicted as a rugged and resilient people, their lives marked by both hardship and endurance. They are described as having a strong, muscular build, their bodies honed by labor and their faces weathered by the harsh winds of the Irish countryside. In the tapestry of Irish mythology, they stand as the remnants of an ancient race, a people who were displaced by invaders and lost to time. According to legend, the Fir Bolg were among the earliest inhabitants of Ireland, coming to the island long before the arrival of the more celebrated Tuatha Dé Danann or the Milesians. They were said to have settled in the land after a long and arduous journey, bringing with them the skills of farming and the knowledge of the old ways. Their lives were simple but deeply connected to the earth, and they were known for their strength and resilience in the face of adversity. The myths surrounding the Fir Bolg are rich with stories of battles and heroism, reflecting their struggles to hold onto their homeland. One of the most poignant tales is of their battle against the Tuatha Dé Danann, a race of magical beings who sought to claim Ireland for themselves. The Fir Bolg, despite their strength and determination, were ultimately overwhelmed by the supernatural prowess of their adversaries. The clash between these two peoples is not just a story of conflict, but a tale of survival and the inevitable passage of time. In one legendary account, the Fir Bolg are portrayed as fierce warriors fighting valiantly to protect their homeland. The battle scenes are vivid and heart-wrenching, men and women standing side by side, their faces set in grim determination, as they face a foe whose power seems insurmountable. Despite their bravery, the Fir Bolg are driven from their lands, their people scattered and their homes destroyed. The story of their defeat is a powerful reminder of the fragility of human endeavors in the face of overwhelming forces. Another touching legend speaks of a Fir Bolg chieftain who, after the fall of his people, wanders the land in search of a place to call home. His journey is marked by encounters with both the familiar and the strange, reflecting his inner turmoil and the sense of loss that pervades his life. In one moving scene, he finds himself standing on a hill overlooking the land he once ruled, now empty and silent. The sight fills him with a deep sadness as he mourns the passing of his people and the end of an era. The Fir Bolg story is not just one of loss and defeat, it is also a tale of endurance and hope. Despite the upheavals and tragedies they faced, the Fir Bolg are remembered with respect and reverence. Their legacy lives on in the land itself, in the ancient stones and the fields they once worked. Their story is a testament to the enduring spirit of a people who, even in the face of overwhelming odds, left an indelible mark on the land they loved. In local folklore, the Fir Bolg are often portrayed as both tragic and heroic figures, their lives a blend of strength and sorrow. They symbolize the struggles of a people fighting to hold onto their way of life in a world that is changing around them. Their story serves as a poignant reminder of the passage of time and the enduring human spirit. The Fir Bolg's mythological role extends beyond mere historical accounts. They embody the themes of struggle, resilience, and the quest for belonging. Their tales are woven into the very fabric of Irish myth, reflecting the timeless human experiences of loss, hope, and the search for a place to call home. In every story told about the Fir Bolg, there is a sense of reverence and sadness, a recognition of the challenges they faced and the indomitable spirit with which they confronted them. Their legacy endures not only in the stories that are passed down through generations, but also in the land they once inhabited, a silent witness to their strength and their sorrow. The Fir-Bolg, with their powerful presence and their poignant tales, remind us of the deep connection between people, land, and the stories that shape our understanding of both. In the darkened shadows of ancient Irish mythology, where the veil between worlds grows thin and the echoes of old gods linger, there exists a chilling pantheon of creatures under the command of the Morrigan. While the Morrigan herself, a fearsome goddess of war, fate, and sovereignty, commands attention with her formidable presence, her lesser-known minions drift like ghosts through the stories and legends of the past, each one a whisper of dread and foreboding. These minions, though often overshadowed by their powerful mistress, play crucial roles in the grand tapestry of Celtic myth. Each of them embodies a fragment of the Morrigan's dark essence, their forms and functions reflecting the multifaceted nature of this goddess of doom. Among these eerie beings are the spectral banshees, the ghostly harbingers of death and disaster. Unlike the more commonly known banshees who wail as omens of death, the Morrigan's minions take on a more sinister guise. These banshees, cloaked in shadows and mist, move silently through the night, their presence marked only by a chill that seeps into the bones of those who encounter them. Their mournful cries are not just warnings of impending death, but a foretaste of the terror that the Morrigan herself can unleash. In one haunting tale, a village cursed by the Morrigan's minions finds its inhabitants plagued by these ghostly figures, their wails heralding a series of tragic events that leave the village in ruins and its people forever haunted by the memory of the Banshee's lament. Another of the Morrigan's minions, the dark-eyed crows, plays a more insidious role. These birds, often seen perched on the fringes of battles or circling over sites of calamity, are the Morrigan's spies and messengers. Their black feathers, glistening with a malevolent sheen, are said to be stained with the blood of those whose fates they have sealed. The crows' harsh caws are not merely the cries of scavengers but a signal that the Morrigan's influence is at hand. In the myth of a great battle, a lone warrior finds himself surrounded by these crows, their presence a grim reminder of the Morrigan's power and the fate that awaits him. The crows' relentless circling serves as a prelude to the warrior's inevitable downfall, each flap of their wings a portent of doom. The spectral figures of the Death Swan, another of the Morrigan's minions, glide through the misty marshlands and forgotten bogs. These creatures, with their pale feathers and eyes that glow like embers, are harbingers of sorrow and tragedy. Their eerie beauty masks a deadly purpose, to lure the unwary into the bogs where they meet their doom. In one chilling story, a young woman is drawn by the haunting beauty of the Death Swan's song, only to find herself trapped in the marsh's grasp. The Morrigan's minion, with its mournful call, leads her to a fate sealed by the goddess's dark will. The tale reflects the Morrigan's ability to entwine beauty and horror, showing how her minions are both alluring and deadly, embodying the goddess's dual nature. The Morrigan's minions are not merely creatures of horror, but also reflections of the goddess's complex nature. Each minion serves a purpose, weaving fear and fate into the lives of those who encounter them. Their roles, while lesser known, are crucial in understanding the breadth of the Morrigan's influence. They operate not only as agents of doom but as symbols of the inexorable forces of fate that the Morrigan embodies. Their presence in the myths highlights the deep connection between the goddess and the forces of darkness and destiny that she controls. In the end, the Morrigan's lesser-known minions, from the ghostly banshees to the dark-eyed crows and the spectral death swans, serve as a chilling reminder of the power and reach of the goddess they serve. Each one, with its own unique role and form, contributes to the tapestry of terror and fate that the Morrigan weaves. Their stories, though often overshadowed by their mistress, offer a glimpse into the dark and mysterious world of Celtic mythology, where every shadow holds a fragment of ancient power and every whisper of the wind carries a hint of dread. In the dim twilight of ancient Ireland, where the veil between the world of humans and the realm of fairies is as thin as gossamer, there exists a multitude of fairy folk who often escape the light of day. These lesser-known fairies, shrouded in mystery and magic, inhabit the hidden corners of myths and legends, each with their own distinct and haunting characteristics. One of these elusive beings is the Líne City. This fairy is known as a muse, but not the kind that inspires joy and creativity. Instead, the Lingnan city is a seductive and haunting presence, often linked with the arts and tragic romance. She is said to enchant poets and musicians, drawing their talents to new heights, but at a terrible cost. Her love is both a blessing and a curse. In one poignant tale, a talented bard falls under her spell, creating beautiful music that mesmerizes all who hear it. Yet, as his fame grows, he becomes increasingly ill, his life draining away as his music flourishes. The Lingnan city's love, though seemingly beautiful and alluring, is entwined with the sorrow of its eventual toll, leaving a legacy of both enchanting melodies and tragic endings. Another lesser-known fairy is the Cluracan, a mischievous and elusive creature that thrives on trickery and confusion. Unlike the more malevolent fairies, the Cluracan's tricks are less harmful but equally bewildering. This fairy is known for causing small disturbances and playing pranks on unsuspecting humans. Imagine finding your belongings moved from one place to another or hearing strange noises in the night without a clear source. These seemingly innocent pranks can lead to frustrating and mysterious events that leave people questioning their sanity. In folklore, a Cluracan might rearrange the furniture in a farmhouse or hide a farmer's tools, laughing quietly as the human suffers from the chaos it creates. Though often seen as harmless, the Cluracan's mischief serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of the fairy world. The boggart is another fairy type with a more unsettling presence. Known for their malevolent tricks and haunting ways, boggarts are feared rather than adored. They are said to dwell in old ruins or abandoned homes, preying on the fears of those who dare to venture near. The stories surrounding boggarts are filled with chilling accounts of people who have encountered these creatures. One tale speaks of a family who moves into a new house, only to find their belongings mysteriously misplaced and eerie noises echoing through the night. As the boggart's presence becomes known, the family is plagued by inexplicable misfortunes, their lives turned upside down by the creature's relentless torment. The boggart's malevolence is a stark reminder of the fairy world's darker side, where not all beings are benign or whimsical. Lastly, the Gankana, a fairy who represents the darker side of seduction and passion. This fairy is known for charming human lovers and leaving them heartbroken and desperate. The Gankana's allure is powerful, often leading to intense but fleeting relationships. In one haunting tale, a young woman falls under the spell of the Gankana, enchanted by his charm and grace. However, as quickly as he appeared, he vanishes, leaving her devastated and longing for the impossible. The Gankana story is a tragic reflection of love's fleeting nature and the pain that can come from desires that remain unfulfilled. Each of these fairy types, with their own unique characteristics and roles in folklore, reveals the rich tapestry of fairy lore that lies hidden beneath the more familiar tales of fairy folk. They are not just whimsical beings, but carry with them a deep sense of mystery and, at times, sorrow. Their stories, though lesser known, are woven into the fabric of Irish mythology, each one adding depth and nuance to the understanding of the fairy world. The Lingnan city's tragic muse, the Cluracan's mischievous pranks, the boggart's haunting presence, and the Gankana's dark seduction all serve as poignant reminders of the fairy folk's complex and often enigmatic nature. Their tales are a reflection of the delicate balance between enchantment and peril, beauty and sorrow, that characterizes the world of fairies. Each fairy type, in its own way, adds to the rich and haunting lore of Ireland's magical landscape, leaving behind whispers of their presence and a lingering sense of wonder and unease. In the rugged landscapes of Connaught, where the winds carry whispers of ancient legends and the mountains stand as silent witnesses to the past, the tales of the Connaught giants echo through the ages. These giants, massive and formidable, are not merely figures of folklore but symbols of an era steeped in both awe and mystery. The Connaught giants are described as towering figures, their immense size dwarfing the tallest of trees and the grandest of castles. Their strength and presence were said to be so overwhelming that their footsteps could create valleys and their voices could shake the earth. The giants' descriptions and local legends paint them as beings of extraordinary power and remarkable stature, their very existence a testament to the wild and untamed nature of ancient Ireland. One of the most evocative legends tells of a giant named Balor of the Evil Eye. Balor was said to have a single, terrifying eye that could bring about death and destruction with a mere glance. According to the story, Baelor's eye was so potent that it could annihilate entire armies and lay waste to cities. In the heat of battle, he would open this eye to unleash his wrath, leaving devastation in his wake. His immense size and formidable power made him a figure of both fear and reverence, a living embodiment of the destructive forces that could be unleashed by the gods. Another giant from Connacht's lore is the giant named Finn mac Cumhaill, not to be confused with the hero Finn McCool of later legend. Finn mac Cumhaill was a figure of both strength and wisdom, known for his legendary feats and his role as a protector of the land. In one poignant tale, Finn mac Cumhaill is said to have used his incredible strength to defend his people from invaders, his actions serving as a symbol of the fierce loyalty and bravery that were characteristic of the giants. His deeds were not only acts of heroism but also reflections of the values that were deeply embedded in the culture of the time. The influence of these giants on local culture is profound and enduring. In the towns and villages of Connacht, stories of the giants are told with a sense of reverence and awe. The giants' immense strength and larger-than-life presence are celebrated in local festivals and traditions, where the tales of their deeds are recounted with passion and pride. The legends of the Connacht giants have become an integral part of the cultural identity, embodying the rugged spirit and resilience of the people. Landmarks and natural features in Connacht are often linked to the giants' legends. For example, certain hills and valleys are said to have been created by the giants' footsteps or by their battles with one another. These sites are visited by locals and tourists alike, who come to see the places where the giants are believed to have walked or fought. The physical landscape of Connacht thus becomes a living testament to the giants' presence, their stories etched into the very land. In local folklore, the giants are not just distant figures from the past, but are woven into the fabric of daily life. Stories of their strength and bravery inspire local legends of heroism and courage, serving as moral lessons and cultural touchstones. The giants' influence extends into art and literature, where their epic deeds and grand presence are depicted in various forms, capturing the imagination and maintaining the connection to the past. The tales of the Connacht giants also serve as a reminder of the deep connection between people and their land. The giants' immense size and strength symbolize the grandeur and power of nature itself, reflecting the way the people of Connacht view their world. The stories of these giants are more than just legends, they are a celebration of the natural beauty and strength of the land, and of the people who live there. Through the ages, the Connacht giants have become symbols of strength, courage, and the untamed power of nature. Their stories, rich with drama and wonder, continue to captivate and inspire, reminding us of the profound connection between myth and reality, and of the enduring power of legends to shape and reflect the cultures they come from. In the dim recesses of Irish mythology, where the air is thick with ancient magic and the whisper of old stories, the first city stand as enigmatic figures wrapped in mystery. These beings, also known as the people of the hills or fairy folk, are both alluring and elusive, capturing the imagination with their ethereal beauty and mysterious ways. The first city are described as majestic and otherworldly, their presence marked by an otherworldly grace that sets them apart from mortals. Tall and striking, they possess an ethereal beauty that can captivate anyone who catches a glimpse of them. Their appearance is often described with a certain otherness, a blend of the human and the divine, with delicate features and an aura that seems to shimmer with a light of its own. Their eyes, deep and knowing, are said to hold the secrets of the ancient world, reflecting a wisdom that spans beyond the confines of mortal understanding. The stories surrounding the first city are rich with wonder and foreboding. In one tale, a young shepherd wandering through the hills encounters a beautiful maiden of the first city. Enchanted by her beauty and grace, he follows her into the heart of the fairy realm, only to discover that the beauty he admired was a trap. The shepherd finds himself lost in a land where time flows differently, and though the maiden's beauty is real, the cost of his fascination is steep. He returns to his own world years later, only to find that what felt like mere moments was actually decades. His tale serves as a cautionary reminder of the perils of the first city's allure and the consequences of venturing too close to their world. Another story tells of a great chieftain who, during a period of strife, sought the aid of the first city. Desperate to secure his people's future, he made a pact with these enigmatic beings, exchanging his own soul for their help in battle. Though the first city fulfilled their promise, the chieftain's fate was sealed. The story speaks to the themes of sacrifice and the consequences of making deals with such powerful and unpredictable entities. The chieftain's tale is a poignant reminder of the high price of engaging with the first city and the complex nature of their dealings with mortals. The first city play a crucial role in Irish mythology, bridging the world of the living with that of the fairy realm. They are often depicted as intermediaries between humans and the otherworldly forces that shape their destinies. Their role is not merely to enchant, but to enforce the delicate balance between the natural and supernatural worlds. They are guardians of ancient knowledge and wielders of magic that can influence the fate of both individuals and entire communities. In some tales, the first city are seen as protectors of sacred sites and natural landmarks. Their presence in these places is said to ensure that the land remains untainted and pure. They are often associated with ancient burial mounds, stone circles, and other sacred locations, believed to guard the secrets buried within these places. Their role as protectors reflects the deep respect and reverence that ancient peoples had for the natural world and the belief that certain places held powerful, mystical significance. The influence of the first city extends beyond mere folklore into the very fabric of Irish culture. Their stories are woven into the rituals and traditions that celebrate the land and its history. Festivals and celebrations often include elements that honor the first city, acknowledging their role in the cycles of nature and the passage of time. Their legends inspire both awe and caution, shaping the way people view the natural world and their place within it. The first city are more than just mythological figures, they are emblematic of the complex relationship between humans and the unseen forces that shape their lives. Their stories, filled with beauty and peril, reflect the profound impact that myth and legend have on cultural identity and the ways in which ancient beliefs continue to resonate through the ages. Their allure and their warnings serve as a reminder of the delicate balance between enchantment and danger, and of the timeless connection between the earthly and the magical. In the shadowy corners of Irish folklore, where legends of fairies and spirits intertwine with tales of love and loss, the Gancana emerges as a figure both alluring and dangerous. This fairy, known for his irresistible charm and captivating presence, is more than just a myth. He embodies the heartache and longing that often accompany passionate encounters. The Gancana is described as strikingly handsome, with an enchanting aura that seems to draw people in with an almost magnetic force. His charm is not merely physical but carries a deep, hypnotic quality that can ensnare anyone who crosses his path. The tales of the Gancana often paint him as a figure of both beauty and tragedy, his allure so powerful that it can lead to profound emotional turmoil. His very presence is enough to set hearts racing and stir emotions to their deepest core, making him a figure of both admiration and fear. One of the most haunting stories about the Gancana tells of a young woman who falls under his spell. Captivated by his striking appearance and the intense gaze of his eyes, she is swept into a whirlwind romance. Their time together is filled with passionate moments and tender exchanges, each one leaving an indelible mark on her heart. However, as quickly as he appeared, the Gancana vanishes without a trace, leaving her alone and heartbroken. The intensity of their brief encounter is contrasted starkly with the emptiness left in his wake. The woman's life is forever altered by this fleeting yet profound experience, her longing for the Gancana becoming a central part of her existence. In another tale, the Gancana's charm leads him to a noble woman who, despite her best efforts to resist, finds herself enchanted by him. Their affair, though filled with moments of genuine affection, becomes the source of great personal suffering. The noble woman's reputation is tarnished, and her relationships with those around her become strained as a result of her involvement with the Gancana. The story underscores the destructive power of his allure, showing how his presence can disrupt lives and leave a trail of emotional wreckage. The behavior of the Gancana is characterized by a combination of seduction and impermanence. He appears suddenly, often during times of vulnerability or when one's defenses are down. His interactions are intense and passionate, creating a profound emotional impact that lingers long after he is gone. The Gancana's behavior reflects the unpredictable nature of romantic entanglements, where the initial excitement and connection can be followed by a sudden, painful departure. The folklore surrounding the Gankana highlights the themes of transient love and the deep emotional scars that can result from such encounters. His stories are cautionary tales about the perils of falling too deeply for someone who may not stay in one's life for long. They serve as a poignant reminder of the fleeting nature of certain relationships and the heartache that can accompany them. The Gankana's role in folklore is a powerful reflection of the complex emotions tied to love and desire. His stories are infused with a sense of melancholy and longing, capturing the essence of romantic relationships that are both exhilarating and heart-wrenching. The Gankana himself becomes a symbol of intense, short-lived passions that leave an indelible mark on those who encounter him. Through his tales, the Gankana embodies the bittersweet nature of love, where moments of beauty and connection are tinged with the inevitability of loss. His legend serves as a reminder of the emotional depth and complexity of human relationships, offering both a warning and a reflection on the nature of desire and the impact it can have on our lives. In the misty, windswept highlands of Ireland, where the landscape seems to whisper ancient secrets, the Gruagach lurks in the shadows, a figure both haunting and heart-wrenching. This fairy being, known for its striking appearance and enigmatic nature, has captured the imaginations of those who live in the land where folklore and reality often intertwine. The Gruagach is often described as a figure with an appearance that is both captivating and unsettling. This fairy is typically depicted as a man with an unkempt, wild mane of hair that cascades around his face and shoulders like a tangled curtain. His hair, a symbol of his connection to the natural world, is said to be as wild and unpredictable as the weather. His eyes are piercing and sharp, reflecting the ancient wisdom and untamed spirit that define him. Despite his often scruffy appearance, there is an undeniable allure to the Gruagach, a charisma that draws people in even as it warns them of the dangers that lie ahead. One of the most poignant stories about the Gruagach involves a poor farmer who, after a particularly harsh winter, finds his fields barren and his family on the brink of starvation. In his desperation, he seeks out the Gruagach, hoping that the fairy might provide some relief. The Gruagach appears, his presence marked by a gust of cold wind and the flicker of eerie light. He offers the farmer a chance to restore his fortunes, but with a stern warning: the help comes with a price. The farmer, blinded by his need, agrees to the Gruagach's terms. The fairy grants him a bountiful harvest, and the farmer's fields flourish once more. Yet, as the seasons pass, the cost of this aid becomes clear. The Gruagach's help is not without strings attached. The farmer's family begins to experience a series of misfortunes, their prosperity tainted by the fairy's dark influence. The tale serves as a somber reminder of the perils of seeking help from such enigmatic beings, and the often unseen costs of their assistance. In another haunting tale, a young woman, drawn by the Gruagach's enigmatic charm, encounters him while wandering through a dense forest. He appears as a figure of both great beauty and unsettling strangeness, his wild hair and piercing eyes both mesmerizing and frightening. The Gruagach engages her in a conversation, weaving tales of ancient magic and forgotten lore. The woman, enchanted by his words, becomes a regular visitor to the forest, lured by the promise of the fairy's knowledge and companionship. Over time, she becomes increasingly isolated from her own people, drawn into the Gruagach's world and losing touch with reality. Her once vibrant life is overshadowed by the Gruagach's dark influence, and she eventually vanishes, leaving only whispers of her fate behind. This story speaks to the dangers of becoming too entangled with the fairy world and losing oneself in the process. The Gruagach's presence in folklore is marked by a complex interplay of fascination and fear. He is often seen as a guardian of ancient knowledge and a keeper of secrets that are both wondrous and perilous. His role in myths reflects the dual nature of fairy beings. They can offer great rewards, but also come with risks that are not always immediately apparent. The Gruagach is also associated with the natural world, particularly with the untamed aspects of it. His wild hair and piercing eyes symbolize his deep connection to the land and its ancient forces. He is often linked to natural elements such as forests, mountains, and streams, and his stories frequently involve interactions with these landscapes. This connection highlights the Gruagach's role as a bridge between the human world and the fairy realm, embodying the untamed, mysterious aspects of nature that both fascinate and terrify. Through his stories and appearance, the Gruagach embodies the deep, often dark beauty of the fairy world. His tales are a blend of enchantment and warning, reflecting the complex nature of interactions between humans and fairies. His presence is a reminder of the fine line between wonder and danger, and of the profound impact that such mythical beings can have on the lives of those who encounter them. In the tranquil waters of Ireland's lakes and rivers, there lies a legend as chilling as the wind that whispers through the reeds. The Dabharchu, a creature both feared and revered, lurks beneath the surface, a mythical beast whose presence is enough to send shivers down the spine of anyone who hears its tale. Described as a formidable blend of otter and wolf, the Dabharchu is said to be a monstrous water creature with sleek, dark fur and eyes that gleam with a malevolent intelligence. Its form is both graceful and terrifying, a hybrid of aquatic agility and predatory prowess. The beast's powerful limbs are adept at both swimming and land travel, making it a versatile and elusive threat. Its howl, a chilling sound that echoes across the water, is said to be a harbinger of doom, striking fear into the hearts of those who hear it. One of the most haunting legends of the Dabharchu involves a remote village by a lake, where the creature's presence was first noted. The villagers, living in harmony with the natural world, had always been wary of the dark depths of the lake but considered it a part of their lives. However, their peaceful existence was shattered when a series of mysterious disappearances began to plague the community. Livestock vanished, and the lake itself seemed to grow eerily quiet. It wasn't long before the villagers began to whisper about a large, shadowy figure seen slipping in and out of the water. Reports of its chilling howl grew more frequent, and tales of a monstrous creature roaming the shores began to spread. In their desperation, the villagers sought the help of a local healer, who, after much ritual and incantation, confirmed their fears. The Dabharchu had claimed their lake as its own. The terror reached its peak one moonlit night when a group of villagers, determined to confront the creature, ventured to the lake's edge. They saw the beast's glowing eyes pierce through the darkness, its form rising from the water like a specter. The creature's roar shattered the stillness, and in an instant, the villagers fled in fear. The next morning, the lake was calm again, but the presence of the Dabharchu was now an undeniable reality. The legend tells of how the creature's terror left a permanent mark on the village, forever altering their relationship with the once benign waters. Historical sightings of the Dabharchu, though rare, add layers to the creature's legend. One account from the 19th century describes a group of travelers who encountered the beast while crossing a secluded lake. They spoke of a creature so large and fierce that their boat was nearly overturned by its powerful swipes. The travelers, terrified and shaken, recounted the creature's malevolent eyes and its strange, unnatural howls that haunted their dreams long after they left the lake. Their encounter became a well-known story, further embedding the Dabharchu into the fabric of local lore. Another chilling account comes from a fisherman who claimed to have seen the Dabharchu while working late at night. The fisherman described how the creature emerged from the water, its fur glistening under the moonlight, and watched him with an intense gaze. He recalled the sheer terror he felt, knowing that this mythical beast had come so close. Though he managed to escape, the encounter left him a changed man, his story becoming another thread in the tapestry of Dabharchu legends. The Dabharchu's influence extends beyond mere fear. It represents the deep, often untamed aspects of nature that humanity struggles to understand and control. The beast's presence in folklore is a reminder of the power and mystery that lies within the natural world, and of the potential dangers that lurk in its depths. Its legends serve as cautionary tales, warning of the unknown and the powerful forces that exist just beyond the reach of our understanding. Through its stories and sightings, the Dabharchu captures the imagination and evokes a sense of dread and wonder. It stands as a testament to the powerful connection between myth and reality, embodying the fear of the unknown and the awe-inspiring nature of the wild. The creature's legend, both chilling and captivating, continues to fascinate and terrify, reminding us of the mysterious and sometimes frightening beauty of the world we inhabit. In the heart of Irish tradition, there exists a curious and endearing ritual that brings together the old and the new in a captivating dance of folklore and celebration. This is the world of the Wren Boys, a mysterious group whose presence in Irish culture is both enchanting and deeply moving. Each December 26th, as the winter's chill tightens its grip, the Wren boys take to the streets with a blend of merriment and reverence. Dressed in an array of costumes that range from whimsical to eerie, they become the living embodiment of a tradition steeped in ancient customs. The costumes, often crafted from old clothes and adorned with masks and elaborate headpieces, give the Wren boys a spectral appearance that captures the essence of the season's magic. Their faces hidden beneath layers of fabric, they roam the villages, carrying with them a small wooden effigy of a wren. This effigy, often dressed in colorful ribbons and small trinkets, symbolizes the spirit of the wren, a bird that holds a special place in Irish folklore. The Wren Boys' procession is more than just a parade, it is a celebration that intertwines with centuries-old rituals. The wren, once considered a bird of ill omen, was believed to possess the power to ward off evil spirits. As the Wren Boys march through the streets, their rhythmic chants and lively songs create an atmosphere of both reverence and festivity. The procession is a visual feast, with the Wren Boys performing traditional dances and singing ancient songs that have been passed down through generations. Their performances are not just for show, they are a means of invoking blessings and good fortune for the year ahead. One of the most poignant aspects of the Wren Boys' tradition is the sense of community it fosters. As they move from house to house, the Wren Boys are greeted with warm hospitality. Villagers open their doors to offer food, drink, and a place to rest. In return, the Wren Boys perform their rituals and share in the festive spirit of the season. This exchange of goodwill strengthens the bonds within the community and underscores the importance of unity and togetherness during the darkest days of winter. The origins of the Wren Boys' tradition are shrouded in mystery and myth. Some stories trace the custom back to ancient Celtic rituals that honored the wren as a symbol of the changing seasons and the cycle of life. Others suggest that the tradition emerged from medieval practices, where the wren was believed to carry messages between the human world and the divine. Regardless of its origins, the tradition has evolved over time, incorporating elements of folklore and local customs into a celebration that is uniquely Irish. As the Wren Boys complete their circuit through the village, they often conclude their journey with a grand feast or a gathering in a central location. This communal celebration is a chance for the entire village to come together and share in the joy of the season. The feasting, storytelling, and singing that follow are a testament to the enduring power of tradition and the way in which it can bring people together. The Wren Boys also play a role in preserving Irish cultural heritage. Their rituals and performances serve as a living link to the past, connecting contemporary celebrations with ancient customs. Through their efforts, the Wren Boys help keep alive the rich tapestry of Irish folklore and ensure that these traditions are passed on to future generations. The emotional impact of the Wren Boys' tradition is profound. It embodies the spirit of resilience and hope that characterizes the winter season. In a time when the days are short and the nights are long, the Wren Boys bring a touch of magic and light to the darkness. Their presence serves as a reminder of the strength of community, the importance of tradition, and the enduring power of folklore. The Wren Boys' tradition is a vivid tapestry of myth and celebration, woven with threads of ancient customs and contemporary joy. Their annual procession, with its blend of reverence and festivity, creates a sense of wonder and connection that transcends time. As they roam the streets, carrying the spirit of the wren and sharing their songs and dances, the Wren Boys remind us of the beauty and richness of Irish heritage and the unbreakable bond between past and present. In the mist-shrouded fens of Ireland, where the land seems to dissolve into a watery abyss, lurks a presence that chills the bones of those who wander too close. The hags of the fens, spectral figures of ancient lore, are as enigmatic as they are terrifying. Their stories weave through the landscape like the very mists that cloak their domain, leaving a haunting legacy that stirs the deepest fears. These hags are described as gaunt and withered, their appearance a grotesque reminder of the harshness of life in the fens. Their skin is said to be as pale and cracked as the dry earth of the marshes, their eyes gleaming with a cruel, ancient wisdom. The rags they wear are tattered and damp, clinging to their skeletal frames like the remnants of long-forgotten lives. Their presence is often heralded by a sudden drop in temperature, an eerie chill that seeps into the bones of anyone unfortunate enough to be near. The behavior of the hags of the fens is as disturbing as their appearance. They are said to roam the marshlands at night, their footsteps silent on the soft, wet ground. They move with a haunting grace, as if gliding over the mire rather than walking. Their voices, when they speak, are whispers carried by the wind, speaking in riddles and prophecies that unsettle the soul. They are known to lure lost travelers with promises of safety or guidance, only to lead them deeper into the treacherous swamps, where escape becomes impossible. One chilling tale tells of a young woman who, lost and seeking refuge from a storm, stumbled into the fens. She encountered one of the hags who promised her shelter in exchange for a single precious item. Desperate and trusting, the woman handed over a locket containing a picture of her loved ones. The hag accepted it with a cruel smile and led the woman to a seemingly safe spot. As the night wore on, the storm raged, and the woman realized she was surrounded by the hags, their eyes glowing like embers in the dark. By morning, the woman was nowhere to be found, her locket lying in the mud as a grim reminder of the hag's treachery. These stories serve as warnings, deeply embedded in the mythological background of the fens. The hags are often portrayed as ancient beings, remnants of a time before history was written. They are said to embody the primal fears of nature, representing the wild, untamed aspects of the world that humanity has long struggled to control. In Irish mythology, they are linked to the spirits of the land, guardians of its secrets and its dangers. They are believed to have once been powerful figures, perhaps deities or wise women, who were cast out and cursed to live in the desolate fens. The mythological role of the hags of the fens extends beyond mere fright. They are seen as symbols of the land's untamed power, a reminder of the thin veil that separates the known world from the unknown. Their presence in folklore is a reflection of humanity's deep-seated fear of the wilderness and the unknown, of the ancient and the mysterious forces that lie just beyond our understanding. Their tales carry a sense of reverence and fear, a recognition of the power and unpredictability of nature. The emotional impact of the hags of the fens is profound. They evoke a sense of dread and awe, embodying the fears that lie at the edges of our consciousness. Their stories remind us of the dangers that lurk in the natural world, of the ancient forces that shape our existence. They represent the darker aspects of human experience, the fear of the unknown and the inexorable passage of time. In their haunting presence, we see a reflection of our own fears and the mysteries that lie beyond our grasp. The hags of the fens are more than just figures of folklore, they are a powerful symbol of the primal fears that shape our understanding of the world. Their stories are a testament to the deep connections between humanity and the natural world, a reminder of the ancient forces that continue to influence our lives. As the mists roll over the fens and the shadows lengthen, the hags remain, their presence a chilling reminder of the power and mystery that lie hidden in the heart of the land. The legend of Cú Chulainn, one of Ireland's most formidable warriors, is incomplete without mention of the eerie and enigmatic creatures that accompanied him. These beastly companions, often overshadowed by their master's heroic deeds, hold secrets that chill the bones and stir the imagination. Their stories weave the tapestry of ancient magic and dark mythology, adding layers of mystery to an already captivating legend. Among Cú Chulainn's beasts, the most mysterious are the leprechaun hounds, creatures as elusive as they are fearsome. These hounds are not like the ordinary dogs known to the world. Their fur is said to shimmer with a spectral glow, a sign of their otherworldly origins. Their eyes, glowing with an unsettling green light, are rumored to see through the very fabric of reality. They move silently, their steps almost imperceptible, and are said to be able to traverse between the physical world and the otherworld with ease. Stories recount how these hounds would guard Cú Chulainn's home, their presence a sign of both protection and impending danger. It is said that they could track anyone, anywhere, even through the thickest of mists and the darkest of nights. One haunting tale tells of a night when Cú Chulainn's enemies, seeking to ambush him, crept towards his home under the cover of darkness. The leprechaun hounds, sensing the intrusion, surrounded the intruders with their eerie glow. The would-be attackers, seeing only the green eyes glaring at them from the shadows, were paralyzed with fear. When dawn broke, the intruders were found standing frozen, their eyes wide with terror, unable to recall the events of the night. The hounds, ever silent, vanished with the morning mist, leaving behind only the lingering chill of their presence. Then there are the black swans, ethereal beings that belong neither to the natural world nor the fairy realm. These swans, with their jet black feathers and eyes that seem to pierce the soul, were said to be as much a part of Cú Chulainn's power as his own sword. They were often seen accompanying him on his travels, their mournful cries echoing through the misty landscape. The black swans were believed to have the power to foretell events, their appearance marking moments of great significance or doom. Their cries would signal a shift in fate, a change that was always accompanied by a sense of impending tragedy. One story tells of a battle that Cú Chulainn faced against a horde of enemies. As the battle raged, the black swans appeared, circling overhead. Their cries were a somber melody, a chilling reminder of the cost of war. Their appearance was said to signal the end of the conflict, but not without sacrifice. The swans' haunting song continued to echo long after the battle had ended, a reminder of the price paid and the spirits lost. Lastly, the shadowy elk, a creature of immense power and mystery, was another of Cú Chulainn companions. With antlers that seemed to stretch into the very heavens, the shadowy elk was both a symbol of strength and a harbinger of doom. This creature was said to be able to summon storms with the mere sweep of its antlers and was often seen at Cú Chulainn's side during moments of great upheaval. Its presence was a sign of change, of moments when the natural order was about to be disrupted. A particularly chilling tale involves a time when Cú Chulainn was pursued by a vengeful rival. As the rival drew closer, the shadowy elk appeared, its antlers crackling with lightning. The elk charged through the forest, creating a path of destruction in its wake. The rival, blinded by the storm and terrified by the elk's otherworldly presence, fled in desperation. The elk, after ensuring Cú Chulainn's safety, vanished into the shadows, leaving behind only the echo of thunder and the scent of ozone. Each of these creatures, while lesser known, is woven deeply into the fabric of Cú Chulainn's legend. They are not merely beasts, they are embodiments of ancient forces, symbols of the magical and mysterious elements that permeate the myths of Ireland. Their stories, though often shrouded in darkness and fear, reveal the profound connection between Cú Chulainn and the otherworldly forces that shaped his destiny. Through their eerie presence and haunting tales, they remind us of the thin veil that separates the known from the unknown, and of the power that lies in the shadows of our legends. The uraeus serpent slithers through ancient myths with a chilling grace, leaving a trail of both awe and terror. Its presence is not just a legend but a testament to the power and mystique of ancient beliefs. Picture a serpent so entwined with the essence of the divine that its very existence commands reverence and fear. This serpent, often depicted as a coiled, hooded creature, bears an appearance both majestic and menacing. Its scales are said to shimmer with an otherworldly sheen, a mixture of iridescent colors that shift in the light. When it raises its hood, it reveals a crest that seems to glow with a supernatural light, casting an eerie shadow that evokes both wonder and dread. The uraeus is not merely a beast, it is a symbol of divine authority and protection. In the myths, the uraeus serpent is often associated with deities and royalty, representing their power and their connection to the divine. Its role extends beyond that of a mere guardian. It is a living embodiment of the protection and justice that the gods bestow upon the earth. It is said that the uraeus would coil around the thrones of the great and the powerful, its presence a mark of their divine right to rule and a shield against their enemies. One story tells of a pharaoh who, despite his great power, was threatened by a rival king who sought to overthrow him. As the rival approached with his army, the uraeus serpent appeared, coiling protectively around the pharaoh's throne. The sight of the serpent was enough to send the rival king into retreat, for it was believed that the serpent's gaze could bring curses and misfortune. The pharaoh's enemies saw the serpent not just as a symbol but as an active force that could change the tide of fate. Another tale recounts the uraeus's role in a divine battle between gods and chaos. The serpent, with its mesmerizing eyes and powerful coils, became the weapon of choice for the gods against the forces of disorder. Its hissing, echoing through the heavens, was said to be a sound that could strike fear into the hearts of even the most formidable foes. The battle was fierce, with the serpent striking down the chaotic forces, its scales flashing with every movement, illuminating the sky with divine light. But the uraeus serpent's influence wasn't confined to the grandiose tales of gods and kings. It also played a crucial role in the daily lives of the people. Many believed that wearing an amulet with the image of the uraeus would offer protection from harm and bring prosperity. The serpent's image was inscribed on jewelry, statues, and even the walls of temples, ensuring that its protective aura surrounded and blessed those who revered it. In one poignant story, a humble farmer, faced with a devastating drought that threatened his livelihood, prayed for divine intervention. One night, as he lay sleepless, the uraeus serpent appeared in a dream. The serpent's gaze was calm and reassuring, and it whispered promises of rain and abundance. The next day, the skies opened up, and rain fell upon the parched land. The farmer, awed and grateful, took the serpent's image and carved it into a stone, placing it in his field as a token of his faith and a reminder of the divine protection that had saved him. The uraeus serpent, with its intricate blend of majesty and menace, continues to captivate and terrify. It represents not only the divine power but also the fragile boundary between the known and the unknown. Its stories weave a complex tapestry of protection, authority, and the supernatural, reminding us of the ancient beliefs that shaped the world's understanding of power and protection. Through its serpentine grace and divine significance, the uraeus serpent remains a symbol of the mystical and the eternal, embodying the powerful forces that once commanded reverence and fear. Imagine a shadow moving silently through the night, a presence that seems to flicker just beyond the edge of your vision. This is the world of the boggart, a creature as elusive as it is unsettling. The boggart is a figure of folklore that lurks in the corners of the mind, a reminder of the unknown and the unseen. The boggart is often described as a small, mischievous entity with a knack for causing trouble. It is said to be covered in dark, shaggy hair, its eyes gleaming with a malevolent spark that suggests it knows more than it lets on. Sometimes it's depicted as a formless shadow, blending into its surroundings with unsettling ease. Its very appearance is designed to disturb, to unsettle, and to play upon the deepest fears of those who encounter it. Behaviorally, the boggart is known for its pranks and mischief. It has a particular fondness for homes, where it causes disturbances that range from mildly irritating to downright frightening. It might hide objects, make noises, or create small accidents, all designed to unnerve its victims. The boggart's favorite trick is to disrupt the peace of a household, making life a little more uncomfortable with every passing day. It thrives on confusion and distress, feeding off the anxiety it creates. In local tales, the boggart often takes on a more sinister role. One story from a remote village tells of a boggart that haunted a particular farmhouse. The family living there were plagued by strange noises at night, footsteps when no one was there, doors creaking open by themselves, and a general sense of unease that settled over the house. No matter how many times they tried to fix the problems or find logical explanations, the disturbances continued. The turning point came when the family's youngest child, a little girl, spoke of seeing a dark figure in her room. Her description was vague but consistent, a shadow that seemed to watch her, its presence chilling her to the bone. Desperate, the family sought the help of an old woman known for her knowledge of local folklore. She told them that the boggart was drawn to places of discord and unhappiness and suggested they perform a ritual to appease the spirit. With trepidation, the family followed her advice, and slowly, the disturbances began to fade. The boggart seemed to lose interest and eventually left the household in peace. In another tale, a farmer's wife found herself constantly battling with a boggart that seemed to take pleasure in destroying her crops. The creature would uproot plants and scatter seeds, making the farmer's hard work seem pointless. Frustrated, the farmer tried various methods to rid himself of the boggart, from offerings to charms and even exorcisms, but nothing worked. Finally, the farmer's wife decided to confront the boggart directly. She left a small gift of bread and milk out for it, with a note asking it to stop its mischief. To her astonishment, the boggart's behavior changed. The destruction ceased, and the crops began to thrive again. It was as if the boggart had been appeased, satisfied by the gesture of goodwill. These stories reflect a deeper truth about the boggart. It is a creature that thrives on the emotional climate of its surroundings. It is not just a prankster or a troublemaker, but a symbol of the emotional turmoil that can plague our lives. The boggart's presence is a reminder of how our fears and anxieties can take on a life of their own, growing larger and more frightening with every passing moment. Yet, it also shows that with understanding and empathy, we can face these fears and, perhaps, even overcome them. The boggart's role in folklore is more than just that of a trickster. It represents the darker side of human nature, the fears and anxieties that lurk in the shadows. Its stories are both unsettling and illuminating, revealing how deeply our fears can affect us and how we might find ways to address them. The boggart may be a creature of shadows and mischief, but it also serves as a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the power of facing our fears head-on. Beneath the shimmering surface of calm lakes and slow-moving rivers, an ancient, enigmatic presence lurks. It is a creature of legend, whispered about in hushed tones and painted with both awe and terror. This is the water horse, a being whose very name evokes mystery and unease, weaving tales of both grandeur and dread. The water horse, also known as the kelpie or the each-wisht, is described with a variety of forms, but its essence remains constant. Often portrayed as a majestic horse with a sleek, black coat, its beauty masks the dark truth beneath. Some stories describe it with a more frightening twist, a creature with a horse's body but with scales, claws, and a mane of serpentine tendrils. The water horse's appearance alone is enough to chill the bones, hinting at its dual nature, a creature of both elegance and malevolence. Legends paint the water horse as a master of deception. It is said to lure unsuspecting victims with its seemingly serene and inviting presence. Stories from the Scottish Highlands tell of the water horse appearing as a beautiful horse, standing alone near a riverbank or a lake. Its mane shines with an otherworldly luster, and its eyes sparkle with a strange, magnetic allure. For those who approach, entranced by its beauty, the water horse's true nature is soon revealed. When a person attempts to mount the horse, it magically binds them to its back. With a violent plunge, the water horse drags its rider into the depths of the water, where the victim is drowned, their life snuffed out in an instant. One of the most haunting tales involves a young shepherd who, drawn by the creature's beauty, approached the water horse grazing by a lake. Unable to resist the lure of such a magnificent creature, he climbed onto its back, only to find himself stuck as if glued. With a ferocious snort, the water horse galloped into the water, the shepherd's screams echoing in the night before being swallowed by the lake's depths. His body was never recovered, and the lake became a place of dark whispers and fearful glances. Yet the water horse is not confined to the Scottish Highlands alone. Variations of this creature appear in other regions, each with its own local flavor and twist. In Ireland, it is known as the each-wisht or the water horse, and the tales are similar. This creature lures people to their doom. However, in Irish folklore, the water horse sometimes takes the guise of a beautiful woman or a handsome man, further complicating its role as a deceiver. The local legends tell of the creature's ability to change shape, sometimes appearing as a seductive figure who draws individuals to the water's edge before revealing its true, monstrous form. In Welsh folklore, the water horse is known as the horses of the sea and is often depicted as a water spirit or sea horse. These creatures are said to guard the waters and possess a deep, almost mystical connection to the sea. They are viewed with a mixture of reverence and fear, embodying the power and mystery of the ocean itself. Despite the terror associated with the water horse, there are tales that offer a glimmer of hope. In some versions of the legend, the creature can be appeased or controlled. Certain rituals and offerings are believed to protect individuals from its wrath. One story recounts how a wise old woman, aware of the water horse's nature, would leave offerings of bread and milk at the edge of a lake to placate the creature. By showing respect and acknowledging the water horse's power, she kept her village safe from its predations. The water horse's presence in folklore reflects humanity's deep-seated fear of the unknown and the uncontrollable forces of nature. Its tales remind us of the dangers that lurk beneath the surface, both literally and metaphorically. The water horse's beauty and malevolence are intertwined, a reminder of how allure and danger can be two sides of the same coin. These legends serve as cautionary tales, warning of the perils of succumbing to superficial charms and the importance of respecting the forces beyond our understanding. They speak to a primal fear of the unknown and the dark, hidden dangers that can lie just beneath the surface of our world. In the water horse, we find a powerful symbol of the dual nature of beauty and peril, a reminder of the thin line between enchantment and doom. Amid the shrouded mists of ancient Irish legends, there exists a figure whose name invokes both reverence and terror, the Rina Échimna, or the King of the Oakwood. This mythical entity stands as a testament to the dark and enigmatic nature of Celtic folklore, a shadowy presence whose tales chill the spine and stir the soul. The Rina Échimna is often depicted as a powerful, otherworldly being, deeply connected to the oak forests that cloak the land in mystery. His realm is one of dense, dark woods, where ancient trees seem to whisper secrets of forgotten times. Descriptions of the Rina Échimna vary, but he is frequently portrayed as a tall, imposing figure with a presence that commands both fear and awe. His form can shift between that of a majestic, regal leader and a terrifying, monstrous entity. Some say his eyes glow with an eerie, greenish light, and his voice resonates with the haunting rustle of leaves in the wind. Stories of the Rina Échimna speak of his dominion over the oak groves and the creatures within them. The oak tree, sacred in Celtic tradition, is seen as a symbol of strength and wisdom. As its guardian, the Rina Échimna is believed to possess ancient knowledge and a fierce, almost primal power. He is both protector and predator, his loyalty to the forest unyielding. Those who dare to trespass into his domain often find themselves lost in the labyrinthine woods, disoriented by whispers carried on the wind and shadows that seem to shift with a mind of their own. One chilling tale recounts the story of a group of hunters who ventured too deep into the oakwood, driven by tales of a great stag rumored to roam the forest. They laughed off warnings of the Rina Échimna, dismissing them as mere superstition. As night fell, the forest grew eerily quiet, and an oppressive darkness enveloped them. The hunters, separated from each other, began to hear faint, ghostly whispers and saw fleeting shadows dart between the trees. Panic set in as they realized they could no longer find their way back. The forest seemed to close in around them, and in their last moments, they saw a figure emerging from the shadows, tall, with eyes glowing like the depths of the forest. The next morning, their bodies were found, eerily untouched, but with expressions of pure terror frozen on their faces. It was as if they had seen something beyond their comprehension, something only the Rina Échimna could invoke. Another legend tells of a young woman named Aisling, who, seeking refuge from a storm, took shelter in the heart of the oakwood. Her presence angered the Rina Échimna, who viewed the intrusion as a threat to the sanctity of his domain. As Aisling slept, she dreamt of the Rina Échimna himself, appearing to her as a majestic figure surrounded by the rustling branches of the ancient oaks. He spoke to her in a voice that was both soothing and terrifying, demanding that she leave his forest or face dire consequences. Waking in a cold sweat, Aisling fled the woods, only to find that the storm had passed and the sun was shining brightly. She never spoke of her encounter, but those who knew her said she was never the same. Her once bright eyes now held a haunted, distant look, and she would often speak in hushed tones of a king of the oakwood who had watched her with a gaze that could pierce the soul. The mythological background of the Rina Échimna is deeply intertwined with ancient Celtic beliefs and the reverence for the natural world. The oak tree, central to many of these myths, was seen as a symbol of the divine, its sturdy branches reaching skyward while its roots delved deep into the earth. To the Celts, the oak was a sacred tree, embodying wisdom, strength, and endurance. The Rina Échimna, as the guardian of this sacred realm, embodies these attributes but with a darker edge. His role is not just to protect but to enforce the ancient laws of the forest, meting out punishment to those who dare to disrespect or disrupt the natural balance. His presence in folklore serves as a stark reminder of nature's untamed power and the respect it demands. The tales of the Rina Échimna remind us of the consequences of arrogance and the importance of heeding ancient warnings. They speak to a deep, primal fear of the unknown and the unseen forces that lie beyond the veil of the everyday world. These legends, rich with imagery and emotion, bring to life a figure who embodies the wild, untamed aspects of nature and the ancient, often harsh, laws that govern it. The Rina Échimna stands as a powerful symbol of the mysterious and formidable force of the natural world, a figure whose tales evoke both fear and respect. reminding us of the thin boundary between the known and the unknown. Imagine wandering through the misty hills of rural Ireland, where the air is thick with ancient whispers and shadows dance in the twilight. Here, among the mist and legends, lies the tale of the Ailbe, a figure shrouded in both awe and fear. The Ailbe is a mysterious entity from Irish folklore, often depicted as a fearsome, spectral being whose presence evokes both reverence and dread. Stories of the Ailbe describe it as a ghostly figure with an eerie glow, sometimes appearing as a towering shadow with piercing eyes that seem to see through the very soul. In other tales, the Ailbe is said to be a shadowy creature with a shape-shifting nature, able to transform from a terrifying beast into a hauntingly beautiful figure. This fluidity makes it a particularly enigmatic and unsettling presence in the folklore of the region. One chilling tale tells of a village nestled at the edge of a dense forest, where the Ailbe was said to dwell. The villagers, living in constant fear of this elusive creature, would go to great lengths to appease it. They would leave offerings of food and other gifts at the edge of the forest, hoping to appease the Ailbe and ensure their safety. Despite their efforts, there were nights when the creature would appear, its ghostly form slipping through the trees, causing animals to go silent and leaving an air of foreboding that gripped the village. One particularly haunting story recounts the fate of a young woman named Bridget, who lived in the village. Bridget was known for her beauty and kindness, but her life took a tragic turn when she ventured too close to the forest one fateful evening. She was drawn to the woods by a mysterious, almost musical sound that seemed to call her name. As she walked deeper into the forest, the sound grew louder, more hypnotic. The villagers later found her, alone and staring blankly, her eyes wide with terror. She spoke of seeing the Ailbe, whose eyes were like burning coals, but she could never recall what had happened afterward. Bridget's once lively spirit was never the same. She became a shadow of her former self, haunted by her encounter. The village, though never entirely free of fear, now held a deep sadness for Bridget, and her tale became a somber reminder of the creature's power. The folklore surrounding the Ailbe often paints it as a guardian of ancient, hidden knowledge or a keeper of a mystical realm. It is said that those who encounter the Ailbe are often faced with tests of character or morality. Some legends suggest that the Ailbe demands offerings or sacrifices from those who trespass into its domain, punishing those who come empty-handed or with ill intentions. Its role is not merely to instill fear, but to serve as a reminder of the sacred and mysterious aspects of the natural world that are beyond human understanding. Local legends vary, but many agree that the Ailbe represents a profound connection between the living and the spirit world. It embodies the untamed forces of nature and the ancient laws that govern them. In some stories, the Ailbe is seen as a harbinger of change or a guardian of secrets that must not be disturbed. Its presence is both a warning and a guide, leading those who dare to enter its domain on a path that is often fraught with peril but also rich with hidden truths. The influence of the Ailbe extends beyond mere folklore, embedding itself into the cultural fabric of the region. Festivals and rituals, often held on the edges of the forest or during the twilight hours, serve to honor the Ailbe and seek its favor. Offerings and ceremonies are conducted to appease this spectral guardian, ensuring that the balance between the human world and the mysterious realms it watches over remains undisturbed. In a deeper sense, the Ailbe represents the intersection of fear and reverence, a symbol of the unknown that challenges and shapes the human experience. It stands as a testament to the power of myth and the way it reflects our deepest fears and desires. The stories of the Ailbe, with their haunting beauty and chilling lessons, remind us of the thin line that separates the known from the unknown, and the respect that must be paid to the forces that lie beyond our comprehension. In the whispering winds of ancient Ireland, where the trees seem to hum with age-old tales, the Cernach emerges from the shadows of legend. This mysterious figure, both feared and revered, carries with it a legacy as chilling as it is captivating. The Cernach is often described as a towering, fearsome creature, cloaked in darkness and exuding an aura of dread. Its appearance is said to be both striking and unsettling, eyes that glow with an eerie light, a silhouette that seems to shift and change as if it were part of the very night itself. Some accounts describe it as having a face half human, half beast, while others speak of it as a shadowy form that prowls silently, its presence felt rather than seen. This elusive nature makes it a figure of great terror and fascination, embodying the unknown and the inexplicable. One of the most haunting stories involving the Cernak tells of a small village that lay on the edge of a vast, foreboding forest. The villagers lived in constant fear of the Cernak, believing it to be a guardian of the forest, watching over its domain with a vengeful eye. They spoke of a night when the creature appeared in their midst, its eyes glowing like fiery coals, causing livestock to fall silent and crops to wither. The villagers, terrified, would leave offerings of food and trinkets at the edge of the forest, hoping to appease the Cernak and ward off its wrath. Despite their efforts, the creature's presence seemed to linger, a dark shadow over their lives. In another tale, a brave but foolhardy young man decided to confront the Cernak, determined to prove that the creature was nothing more than a figment of the villagers' fears. Armed with nothing but a sword and his courage, he ventured into the heart of the forest. As he journeyed deeper into the woods, the atmosphere grew colder, the darkness more oppressive. The young man began to feel the weight of unseen eyes upon him, the sense of being watched and judged. His courage faltered as he caught glimpses of the Cernak's glowing eyes in the shadows. Despite his best efforts to fight back, he was ultimately overwhelmed by the creature's dark power. The forest remained quiet and still after his disappearance, but the legend of the Cernak grew even darker with his tale. The Cernak is more than just a figure of fear, it has a profound role in Irish mythology. It is often seen as a symbol of the balance between the human world and the supernatural realm. Its role as a guardian of the forest represents the wild, untamed aspects of nature that resist human control. The Cernak's presence is a reminder of the ancient laws and the respect that must be paid to the natural world. It embodies the consequences of disturbing the delicate harmony between humans and nature. In mythology, the Cernak is also associated with transformation and duality. The creature's shifting appearance and the stories of its various forms reflect the ever-changing and unpredictable nature of the supernatural. It represents the hidden dangers that lie just beyond the edge of human understanding and the powerful forces that govern the natural world. The legends of the Cernak serve as cautionary tales, warnings of the consequences of disrespecting the ancient and mystical forces. Its terrifying presence is not just for show but serves to instill a deep respect for the unknown and the unseen. The fear it evokes is a reflection of humanity's own fears about the limits of their control and understanding. Local traditions and rituals often include references to the Cernak, with ceremonies designed to appease or honor it. Offerings are sometimes left at the forest's edge, and special prayers or rites are performed to ensure that the balance between the human world and the supernatural remains undisturbed. These practices highlight the deep-rooted belief in the Cernak's power and the respect it commands within local folklore. The Cernak stands as a potent reminder of the power of myth and the deep connection between humans and the natural world. Its legends, though haunting, carry a profound truth about the forces that shape our world and the respect they demand. In the quiet of the forest and the stillness of the night, the presence of the Cernak serves as both a warning and a reminder of the mysterious and powerful forces that lie just beyond our understanding. In the heart of Ireland, where the rolling hills meet the misty shores, the whispers of ancient legends still echo. The tales of mythological creatures, passed down through generations, weave a tapestry of wonder and fear, enchantment and mystery. These stories, though old, continue to breathe life into the landscapes they inhabit, casting long shadows that shape both history and the present. Irish mythological creatures are more than mere figments of the imagination. They are the essence of a culture that reveres the unseen, the unknown. The Banshee, with her mournful wail, captures the essence of sorrow and forewarning, a spectral figure who reminds us of our mortality and the delicate thread of life. Her cry, said to herald the death of a family member, resonates with a chilling clarity, blending sorrow with a haunting beauty that lingers in the air long after the sound fades. The leprechaun, mischievous and elusive, embodies the playful yet capricious nature of luck and fortune. His tales of hidden gold and clever trickery reflect the human desire for wealth and the lengths we might go to achieve it. Yet, beneath his playful exterior lies a deeper message about the futility of greed and the fleeting nature of material wealth. The leprechaun's legend teaches us to find joy in the simple things and to cherish the intangible treasures of life. From the depths of the lakes emerges the Selkie, a creature of transformation, whose dual existence as seal and human speaks to the fluidity of identity and the longing for belonging. The stories of Selkies who shed their skins to live among humans, only to return to the sea, are poignant tales of love and loss, freedom and captivity. They remind us of the sacrifices made for love and the enduring pull of one's true nature. The Morrigan, a fearsome goddess of war, symbolizes the fierce and untamed spirit of battle. Her presence on the battlefield, often in the form of a crow, serves as a harbinger of fate and a reminder of the cyclical nature of life and death. The Morrigan's tales are woven with themes of power, destiny, and transformation, reflecting the ancient belief in the interconnectedness of all things and the inevitability of change. Even the gentle fairy folk, with their enchanting dances and hidden realms, carry a duality that mirrors the human condition. Their stories speak of beauty and danger, kindness and malice, inviting us to look beyond the surface and see the complexity of the world around us. The fairies, with their intricate rules and mysterious ways, teach us to respect the boundaries of the natural world and to approach the unknown with both wonder and caution. The giants of Connacht, towering and formidable, are reminders of the land's ancient strength and the enduring power of nature. Their legends, rooted in the very stones of the earth, speak of battles fought and won, of landscapes shaped by their mighty hands. These tales connect us to a time when the world was wild and untamed, and the forces of nature were both a friend and foe to humankind. Irish mythological creatures also influenced modern culture and folklore in profound ways. Their presence is felt in literature, art, and popular media, where they continue to inspire new generations of storytellers and artists. The enduring appeal of these creatures lies in their ability to capture the imagination and evoke deep emotions. They are symbols of a rich cultural heritage that values storytelling as a means of understanding the world and our place in it. In contemporary literature and film, the legends of Irish mythological creatures are reimagined and reinterpreted, bringing ancient tales into the modern age. The Banshee's wail echoes in horror films, the leprechaun's mischief finds new life in fantasy novels, and the Selkie's transformation is explored in poignant dramas. These stories, though adapted for new audiences, retain the essence of their origins, continuing to convey timeless truths and universal themes. The influence of these creatures extends beyond the realm of fiction. In everyday life, symbols and motifs from Irish mythology are seen in art, fashion, and even in celebrations. Festivals and rituals, steeped in tradition, keep the stories alive, ensuring that the legacy of these mythological beings is not forgotten. The intricate designs of Celtic art, the haunting melodies of traditional music, and the vibrant dances all draw from the wellspring of myth, creating a living tapestry that celebrates Ireland's rich cultural heritage. The legacy of Irish mythological creatures is a testament to the power of storytelling and the enduring allure of the unknown. These tales, with their blend of beauty and terror, joy and sorrow, remind us of the complexity of the human experience and the deep connections we share with the world around us. They invite us to see beyond the mundane, to explore the depths of our imagination, and to embrace the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding. As we listen to the whispers of these ancient legends, we are reminded of the timeless truths they hold. The Banshee's wail, the leprechaun's laugh, the Selkie's song, the Morrigan's cry, each carries a piece of the past, a fragment of wisdom that transcends time and space. These stories are not just relics of a bygone era, they are living, breathing entities that continue to shape our world, our culture, and our hearts. In the quiet moments, when the night is still and the air is thick with possibility, the voices of these mythological creatures call to us. They remind us of where we come from, who we are, and the eternal dance between the seen and unseen, the known and unknown. Their legacy is a gift, a treasure trove of stories that will continue to inspire and enchant for generations to come.